Did you know that hip arthritis is one of the most common joint conditions in seniors, and the risk increases significantly after age 60? According to the Mayo Clinic, over 30% of individuals age 60 and older experience some form of hip arthritis. Yet many fail to recognize the hip arthritis symptoms until they begin interfering with everyday activities, like walking, standing, or even putting on socks. In today's video, I'm going to uncover the 3 critical warning signs of hip osteoarthritis that you need to watch for. Recognizing these early arthritis symptoms can make a huge difference in preserving your independence and keeping you active as you age. The problem is that these signs of hip arthritis are often mistaken for normal aging, which is why many people miss the chance for initial hip arthritis treatment. Without timely detection and management, hip osteoarthritis can progress, leading to permanent joint damage and reduced mobility. Before we get into it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Golden Aging Health for more insights on joint health and senior wellness. Now, let's break down the first warning sign, the one that's often overlooked but could be a key indicator of hip arthritis. Sign number 1. Groin pain or stiffness. One of the earliest and most common symptoms of hip arthritis that many seniors experience is groin pain or stiffness, especially after getting out of bed in the morning or after sitting for long periods. This discomfort may start as a mild ache, but it can be an early warning that something more serious, like hip osteoarthritis, is starting to develop. Why does this happen? When you're still for a while, like overnight, the synovial fluid that lubricates your hip joint settles. So, when you stand up suddenly, this fluid hasn't had time to spread out, causing the joint surfaces to briefly rub more, which leads to that pain and stiffness. It's just like an engine that needs a moment to warm up before running smoothly. I am reminded of a story from John, a 67-year-old retired teacher of mine, who first noticed a dull ache in his groin every time he stood up from sitting. Initially, he dismissed it as just a part of getting older, but as the pain increased, it started interfering with his daily routine, especially when walking or climbing stairs. By the time John saw his doctor, the hip arthritis had progressed, and his mobility had been severely impacted. Had he recognized the early signs and made a simple lifestyle change, he could have slowed the condition's progression and prevented the pain from escalating. Ignoring groin pain like this can cause long-term joint damage. Over time, it leads to hip joint stiffness, making even basic movements, such as bending over to tie your shoes or getting in and out of a car, much harder. Groin pain arthritis is not just a minor issue, it's a signal that your hip joints need attention. The National Institute on Aging suggests that hip arthritis can be managed effectively with timely diagnosis and treatments, like physical therapy, which can help improve movement and reduce pain. If you're experiencing groin pain or stiffness, particularly after sitting for long periods or when getting out of bed, it's a good idea to talk to your healthcare provider. Stretching exercises and lifestyle modifications can also ease the discomfort and slow down the progression of hip arthritis. Regular movement is crucial for joint health. As Dr. John Smith, an orthopedic expert, advises, low-impact activities like walking and swimming help maintain flexibility and lubricate the hip joint. However, high-impact exercises such as running or jumping should be avoided as they can worsen the pain. Don't go anywhere. The second warning sign is surprisingly common, yet it's something many people wish they'd recognize sooner. Sign number 2. Limited range of motion. Is it becoming harder to bend down, lift your leg, or perform other simple movements? This could be an advanced sign of hip arthritis, and it's a warning that shouldn't be ignored. As hip arthritis develops, one of the first things you may notice is a limited range of motion in your hip joint. You might find that you struggle to rotate your leg, raise it fully, or perform movements that once felt effortless. This limitation may start off as a minor inconvenience, but it gradually impacts your ability to do everyday activities. Research from the National Institute on Aging, NIA, shows that as cartilage wears down, the hip joint loses flexibility, and movement becomes more difficult. But as arthritis progresses, this cartilage breaks down, and the bones in your joint start rubbing against each other. This friction causes stiffness, which limits your range of motion. My neighbor Ellen, who's 72, started noticing that getting in and out of her car became increasingly difficult. At first, it wasn't too bad, but she started avoiding low chairs because they made it harder for her to bend her hip. Eventually, she began having trouble with stairs too. Ellen thought it was just part of age-related changes, but when she went to the doctor, she found out that the limited range of motion was a sign of early-stage osteoarthritis in her hip. What Ellen didn't realize is that a limited range of motion doesn't just restrict movement, it can also throw off your posture, causing added stress on other joints like the knees and lower back. Over time, compensating for the stiffness can lead to even more pain and discomfort. Physical therapy is an effective solution in restoring hip mobility and flexibility. A study from the British Medical Journal even found that targeted exercises can improve range of motion by 25% in the starting phase of arthritis. Low-impact activities like walking, swimming, and cycling help maintain mobility without stressing the joints, while high-impact exercises like running can worsen pain and stiffness. When your hip's range of motion starts to feel more limited, it's important to consult your doctor. Early intervention can help reduce further damage and preserve your ability to move comfortably. Before we move to the final sign, I'd love to hear from you. Have you been struggling with simple movements like bending or lifting your leg? How has it affected your routine? Feel free to share in the comments. Sign number 3. Difficulty standing or walking after sitting for a while. Do you find it harder to stand or walk after sitting for a while? That stiffness in your hips isn't just a minor annoyance, it could signal something more serious. Hip arthritis may be at play, and it's important to address it early. The progression of hip arthritis means your hip's cartilage cushion degrades. Without it, your bones scrape together, bringing on pain and stiffness. What's more, your body's natural joint lubricant, synovial fluid, loses its effectiveness, especially after you've been sedentary. When you finally get up, your hip often feels locked and incredibly stiff, turning even simple movements like standing or walking into a struggle. According to a study from the National Institute on Aging, stiffness in the hip joint, especially after inactivity, is one of the first signs of arthritis. As the joint remains immobile, it becomes harder for the body to restore the joint's lubrication, causing more stiffness and limiting movement. This can impact basic tasks like walking, getting out of a chair, or climbing stairs. Don't wait to see a doctor if your stiffness lingers for more than a few days or begins to interfere with your daily routine. Early diagnosis and treatment are key to stopping the condition from getting worse, helping you control symptoms and keeping your mobility. Physical therapy also plays a crucial role in managing hip arthritis. A study from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons shows that strengthening the muscles around the hip can reduce strain on the joint, improving movement and easing pain. Additionally, low-impact exercises like walking, swimming, and cycling are key to maintaining joint function without further stressing the hip joint. These activities help lubricate the joint and keep the surrounding muscles strong, preventing further degeneration. Stretching exercises are also essential for maintaining flexibility. Regular stretching can help relieve stiffness and improve your overall mobility, slowing the progression of hip arthritis. Here are several steps you can take to improve your hip health, as recommended by experts. Stretch regularly. Aim for 10-15 minutes of gentle stretching every day, to maintain flexibility and reduce stiffness in the hip joint. Wear supportive shoes. Make sure to wear supportive shoes with proper arch and heel support whenever you're on your feet to reduce strain on the hips. Engage in low-impact exercises. Aim for 30 minutes of low-impact exercise like walking or swimming, at least 3-5 times a week, to help keep your joints moving without overloading them. By making these simple changes, you can protect your hip joint and reduce symptoms from getting worse. Do you ever struggle with stiffness after sitting for a while? Drop the word "yes" in the comments below. Your experience might be the reminder someone else needs to take action. Let's take a moment to review the 3 critical signs of hip arthritis that many people over 60 often mistake for the aging process, or just a little discomfort. Groin pain or stiffness. Limited range of motion. Difficulty standing or walking after sitting for a while. It's tempting to simply brush off these symptoms, viewing them as an inevitable consequence of entering later years. However, that persistent ache or stiffness could actually be an early, crucial warning sign of hip osteoarthritis. The undeniable truth is that the more promptly hip arthritis is identified and addressed, the better your prospects are for preserving an active and fulfilling lifestyle, while crucially preventing more extensive and irreversible joint damage. With greater awareness, detection, and a tailored treatment plan, managing hip arthritis effectively is entirely possible, allowing you to maintain your independence. As we've explored, incorporating simple changes like gentle stretches, low-impact exercises, and proper footwear can significantly contribute to your long-term hip health. If this video helped you recognize any of these warning signs or rethink something you've been experiencing, please give it a like and subscribe to Golden Aging Health. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with a friend, loved one, or anyone you think might benefit from these insights. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video, where we continue learning how to age gracefully, stay active, and live healthier together.